Hello. Hello and welcome. My name is Stevie Boots. If this is your first time tuning in, I just like the game and stuff, so welcome. Before I get too far, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody out there that did watch the YouTube, that liked, that commented. Yeah, it's pretty dope, and yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the support there. I can tell you what, in the past week, since 2.0 has come out, a lot of my focus has been on taking the knowledge that I have gained over the past few months, because I haven't been playing this game for years. I started when the game was released, but I took a long hiatus, came back, but something gripped me this time that I got back into World of Tanks. I don't know if you guys have ever tuned in and watched Kaiju. Sorry for saying the name wrong if I did, but every time I watch him play, he is insane. He takes the tanks and he does well with them every single game. Now, I had to ask myself, it's not just hours that made him that good. There must be something that's missing. I would love to say I'm a casual player, but I do get into a competitive vibe, and that's where it kind of sparked this idea that I wanted to teach you guys about this game too. Because if we had a more competitive environment, I think it would actually be more fair. Instead of having games steamrolled 15-0, 10-5, whatever it might be, we get those games more often now with the update of giving the free tanks, mainly because of knowledge. So that knowledge needs to be passed on to you young tankers coming out there, maybe veterans, older tankers. I got back into the ripe age old of 33. I've been playing now for a while, so I have aged since then. But we need to cover some interesting ground to help you guys catch up a little bit. Today we're going to be working on Tank Academy Part 2, focusing a little bit more on, I've moved from understanding how to play tanks, now I want to be good at tanks. First things first, where did we leave off? We left off at knowing how to put a crew into a tank. I showcased a little bit about transferring crew. I guess we can dive a little bit more into equipment in this one. I don't want to make it too crazy so that a new viewer that's just want to move on from one stage to the next doesn't have to think too hard about, okay, I need to watch a 30-minute video to figure out how to play tanks, 1 hour video like the first one, well, almost 2 hours. World of Tanks is an in-depth game. So there's a lot of things that we need to put together to understand everything about it. It's not as simple as pick a tank, point at a tank and shoot. We've got to understand a little bit about armor mechanics. Once we understand how armor works, then we can understand how our gun works. When we are overmatched, no matter how good we angle ourselves, there's a high chance that we'll be penetrated. So armor itself, if we have to put it into layman's terms and keep it short and sweet, it is penetrable. What can penetrate what? So the armor of Russian tanks or Soviet tanks are a lot stronger in the sense that they are sloped. If we take something, for example, the E100, we'll see that even though there's sloping on the armor, most of it is actually relatively flat. So if you had to shoot on the side, you end up panning that direction. It doesn't really matter too much. But if you had to shoot perhaps the front of this armor, where it is actually sloped, you would get a ricochet. Those ricochets are very important to understand, that it's not your round that's doing that, it's the armor. It makes things difficult when you're just hopping into the game for the first time and you see green and you wonder why it doesn't pan. It happens. There's a little thing called RNG in the game, but you can avoid that RNG with knowledge, and that's what we are here to share. Let's take a look at the E100's armor in a little bit more detail so that we can understand what we have covered so far. You see how this front plate is orange? Now if I had to guide myself up here, we actually go to 645 millimeters. But if I'm shooting straight head on, it's 244. So that's quite the difference. We get very interesting armor values over here that you possibly will get instant ricochets. 500, we're almost hitting 3000 armor in this area. But the moment that the tank is turned to the side, now we have 260, 227, 238. There is a massive weak point in this area. Where do you shoot the tank? Most likely, if you have greater than 310 pen with heat or anything, you can just shoot the front turret. APCR possibly can go through too. Nothing wrong with that. This zone over here, I am seeing there's a small area of 300mm, but most likely you won't be able to penetrate through that because it won't go into the actual turret in this case. We see the cupola, very weak, almost 0mm of armor, 220 closer to the bottom, and this entire top plate over here 200mm. So if you're able to get high enough to shoot this tank in the top, try. When we take that into relativity, average penetration, that is also at a 25% average value. So there are chances that your little tank destroyer over here can ricochet a shot, even if it's 300mm pen round. It is just about the RNG of the game. How do we go from RNG into actually penetrating a high percentage of our shots? Well, you get the Leopard and you have fun. You shoot its standard rounds and you never have to use gold ammo ever because it pretty much penetrates everything. Considering that the average penetration is 278, 269, we can roll 300s. For some serious advice, it's all about understanding where to shoot that's easiest. The front, if you know what you're doing, you'll pin. The lower plate, it can troll you more times than you would like to be. The sides of the tank. Be careful for shooting too low. Tanks have ground clearance for a reason. They need to cover terrain. They are not a Lamborghini. So if you shoot too low, it's very likely that you will not penetrate the tank. If you shoot too high, you will have to go through 2 sets of armor. The sweet spot would be possibly at the bottom area of this tank. Just remember, it's sloped near the top. So there's a chance that the armor is a lot thicker through that area. So be careful for shooting the ridge of the tank. The rear of the tank, glorious. Anywhere you put your round in this zone, most likely will pen the tank. And I do say most likely because even in the E100, if it is angled well, you will not be able to penetrate the back of this vehicle. 170 at the back at bad armor positioning. We're going up to 486 with good positioning. So be careful when shooting the rear of the E100, especially if it turns his turret to the side, your rounds will not pen. Okay. Now, I think it was Ayukson that said something very important that changed the way that I play tanks. And I want to share that with you too. He said, each tank has so much potential. And if you end the game with a full HP bar, you have not used that tank to its full potential. Those words stuck with me for quite a long time. It put me in the position that I need to understand I'm going to take damage. There's a lot of tanks on the battlefield. Ending a perfect game with no damage done to me, does that really mean I got into the best fights that I could? Perhaps as a tank destroyer, it's a bit of a different story. But in the case of being a heavy, if you walk out there with no damage done to you, maybe you didn't really use your tank to its full potential. But there are situations where you need to take that risk just to figure out what would have happened. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What I'm going to do is swap between roles, tank destroyers, medium tanks, light tanks. We'll try and cover as much as we can on each class. I'm going to do a playthrough on each tank. We'll see how I take my time with my shots on each type of vehicle. Not only that, move through the lines and understand a little bit more about the maps too, because then we can put those things together. The tank type, the map we play on, and how to pen. I want to start from lowest to highest. So let's warm up in a light tier 8 game. My crews aren't absolutely perfect. I'm going to be shooting no gold. Considering I am in a light tank, it's very unlikely I'm going to try and shoot a heavy tank from the front. I'm running coded optics, a modified configuration, and gun laying drive. The true reason why I am using modified configuration is not for any of the benefits that it gives. It's solely because it's what I have in my depot. So don't copy this build. I do not recommend it. I'd probably go for Spall Liner just to make sure that I don't take too much damage from any mediums or heavies that shoot me with high explosive, and I possibly could take a turbo, but I'm not going to worry too much about those things. I'm running with, of course, first aid kit, repair kit, and fire extinguisher. We saw what happened in the YouTube. The first game in my tank set on fire. Absolutely fantastic showcase. I didn't script it. That's just the way that this game goes. Okay, so we are here in Redshire. This is a very strong light map if you know what you're doing. Not this guy. I'm not a light player. I'm a medium and heavy player, so hopefully I don't burn myself playing those tanks and showcase a bad game. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm just here for education. I'm not here to be number one. Numero uno. This game is awesome. I've been loving it ever since I got hooked back into it. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. Here we go. Game one. Now there's a couple of danger zones that you can find throughout this map. Considering we're in tier 8, it's going to be a bit scary for me to just push straight up into the enemy. But I do want to get some good spotting off. Now, I need to always think about escape zones. And I think as a light, sometimes we don't think about how to escape as much as where we are. So I've got an issue that loves me. So there's also a E25. He has a very low reload. Ooh. Hopefully they're able to take that light out over there. I hopefully am driving through the bridge right now. There we go. So what was my job there? Was I really there to shoot? I don't think so. I think my job right there in that position was just to be available. I'm going to reload because I have some time. I'm going to also repair so that I have no issues moving on from this position. I'm not sure if I spotted that panther or someone else did, but I have already received some spotting damage, which is absolutely fantastic. Do I have a shot on this panther? No need. Now that he's out the way, I can think about pushing up a little bit. I'm going to sit here for a second. I think what I'm going to try and do is crawl up the lakeside there. Or let's just give it a moment. Okay. Heavies aren't doing too well on the right side. They are held back. Let's see if we can get some spotting on those tank destroyers at the top. Let me get low down to my tank so I've got an easier drive. And let's see what we can do. Whoa. Hello, Elk. I'm going to lock on and try and raise my opportunity. He's already locked onto me and has better turret rotation. I should have probably taken a shot or two there. But yeah, that's light. So if you like to run around, have fun, chase other lights down, wait for the late game and actually potentially get a lot of assistance damage, this might be the class for you. Unfortunately, it's not for me, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to finish these missions because light is the most challenging class, at least in respective for me. It's punishing. It also has high reward, but there's moments where you'll sit there and wonder, what am I actually supposed to do? It's up to you. If you enjoy that type of gameplay, I would suggest going for the lights. Now that isn't the best showcase of playing a light. I think there are a lot of other YouTube videos out there that you can see great light play, but that wasn't for me. I think we can move on to tank destroyer. So I am going to be switching between two different types of tank destroyers. Let me not play the tier 10 version. I would say that the Death Star is going to change the perspective on what a tank destroyer is actually supposed to be. That thing is a menace, okay? It's a little bit different to, let's say, the issue perhaps that was shooting me earlier. I've just got a mediocre crew. They don't have anything special. I'm running concealment on all of them. It's not even completely done. I'm running rammer, aiming, and turbo. I like a little bit of speed and good accuracy on this tank. I'm not running any gold ammo for the sake of the video. I guess it probably actually would be better, especially at this tier, to just put a bit so that we can see the difference in penetration. But yeah, we'll spam gold at a later stage. We'll get to that point. And let's battle. Alright, we are on Murovanga. Murovanga. This is a very nice tank destroyer map. The idea that I want you to gather, at least from playing a tank destroyer perspective, is that my job is to stay hidden and do as much damage as possible. Yeah, we won the light game, and let's go game 2. Okay, on Murovanga, I prefer to play the right side than the left side. Why? I prefer to bully the heavies, and I'm not saying bully in the sense of hey, bully, bully, bully. I'm saying in the sense of somebody needs to keep them under control. Generally, a medium can sit at the back, but tank destroyers have their own purpose here too. I'm going to hold the left side position just up until we have a bit more information, as well as I don't want to get spotted by that bat chat. And there goes little Stevie Boots from the previous game, ending the game in quite a fashion. Now my gun depression isn't fantastic here, but I have a shot on this IS-3. No penetration on that shot. Type 63 is looking my position. I'm not going to worry too much about him. Hopefully the light can get another spotting on these vehicles. Okay, looks like we've been called to watch the right side. Actually, it might be better to full retreat. So as I take a look at the map, I'm going to move Argio towards the left. And then I possibly can get a shot or two. I don't want to get too close, but I do want to get into a position that I can help these guys. I'd love the Sue's position. I'll keep mine. Should be fine. I can see this player over the hill, but I can't get a direct shot on them. Okay, it's time for us to start pushing a little bit. I think the only thing to be nervous of is their destroyers at the back. A little bit nervous to just push in like that because they do have the EVR running around. There's a chance there's some spotting here. So I've done basically nothing so far. I'm an excellent tank destroyer, unseen. This would be a very big kill for us. No gun depression. That's okay. I don't think he spotted me. That's very nice. We have to land this shot. It's the kill. He's gone to the field on the other side. He might sacrifice. Oh, I think he saw me. Good. Should I push? You guys cover me? I guess so. Haven't died yet, haven't been spotted yet. Whoa, spotted. Oh, that was beautiful. So I'm not sure who he shot at, but one of us died and one of us did not. Can't really shoot this guy. I think I'd take a shot for the team. Okay, his reload is very long. I know the tank quite well. We have a nice back end here. There we go. They have a Udes hiding somewhere. A bit scary. And a CS2 allies. So then, remember I was talking about earlier, this is a very good example of it. I used my HP to make a play. Now, if I had to have just sat there staring at him the whole time, we would have had the situation where nobody does anything. The other two guys are too low to really make a push or play. And I have the health for it. I've got to be very patient with this shot. I didn't expect him to push forwards like that. Okay, considering he's so low, he's not a major concern. I'm gonna repair. Just to guarantee I don't get set on fire for no reason, because I am quite low health right now. Just making sure these two are on my 6. It's the Udes 03. He doesn't have the heat shield, so I might load heat to try and take him out. But we'll see. What was his last spotted health for? I'm spotted. Rough. Well, anyways, that's Tank Destroyer. If you think that this type of class is for you, whether it's hiding in trees or making final plays at the end of the game, your damage is quite good. Your armor is not great. So that's why I was thinking it's better for me to showcase not just one type of tank destroyer, but both tank destroyers. Now, Kilana, before I jump into battle, the armor on the front end is quite decent. But there's a lot of tanks that can just full on pen it. The bottom of the plate, not so much. But there's quite a cupola that pokes out if you are not held down. So we're going to look for positions where we can keep this protected. Although we do have these weak spots on this side, but it's not going to do any damage to the tank if they just shoot straight there. They do need to pen on the sides, and they can also pen the sides of the turret there. Now that's very tempting to shoot at, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to hit this aerial bounce off on the tank, so just slap the side of them. But I'm going to be trying to peek with this position of my tank exposed. That does give an opportunity for them to get down there, so I just need to make sure I cover that zone. It's a very interesting type of tank destroyer where we have armor, good damage, and good loading speeds. We have gun rammer, turbo, and improved rotation mechanisms. Now the reason why I'm going for this is hull traverse speed, just to make sure that I can turn around a little bit quicker and chase those mediums and lights that might get behind me. Once again, not running any gold ammo. In this particular case, I've got 270 pen average on that, so 300. I don't think I really need 300 pen in tier 8. If you want to run that, go for it. If you don't, cool. Let's go. Okay, we are here on Abbey. Quite an interesting tank destroyer map. Playable. Most of them are quite playable with this type of tank as well, considering because you can change roles. I like to go with the heavies. Now it's not for everybody, but that's more or less where I like to play the more tankier tank destroyers. It's a draw. Interesting. I have one of the heavies coming with me, 705A, absolutely fantastic. And I think most of the heavies are going to overmatch me. So this is going to be a difficult side to play. I'm not going to back down. I've already wasted most of my time driving here, but we'll see what happens. You know, we have the Archie that's going to be supporting us, which is cool. Always like Archie support. Um, that's about it. Two mediums. Got the Yug to get at the back. And I wanted to go to the right side, hide behind that tank, but I think it's going to be a little bit more scarier than that. So let me hold this position. Reverse a bit. It's already getting busy on the right side. I'll let the object take over that position. Let's cross over to the left. So the angle I'd probably peek at is this, as my tank is facing more or less 45 degrees towards them. And then this position over here, my hull is more or less protected from the front side. If they find a pen position, they find one. If they don't, they don't. For now, the play is similar to the tank destroyer I previously played, because I'm just here to wait for the tanks to make mistakes, and then that's when I push out. Now, playing a tank destroyer in the last game, I didn't really wait for any mistakes. I just went full on head control, and sometimes that's just the way it goes. Now, I see these tanks in the middle here are causing quite the chaos. So let's see if we can assist in some damage. We got spotted. RT immediately decided that I need to go. And what is that? It's a bad chat. So he's probably going to track me. I think I got hit by... Okay, I got hit by the GW Tiger. So he's not going to slap me again. I'm just waiting for the cruise stun to go away. Now my tank can turn again. Fantastic. I could have been there to help, but instead RT stun got me. I have to go like this. This gun's fairly accurate, between 50 to 80, and that was quite a nice shot. For some reason RT is targeting me. That's cool. They got nothing better to do. Left side lost immediately. I'm not too sure how we can actually take this back. I think we should actually go back to base. It's a difficult call, but I think we should go back. The Udas and the Conway seem to be holding the ground for now, which is very good. So maybe we turn back. We won't be able to get a shot from there. I want to more or less move immediately. I really don't know whether I should go back to base or not. I think I'm going to stick to one idea, which is probably the best way. Oh, if I was there, shame, man. I would have been able to help him. He wouldn't die. Okay, he got a little bit more damage in. The Lorraine might still be on a reload. That's why he's ramming. To get the final shot, he does. Now T95 is creeping up. I'm going to try and finish him. Notice the angle. Trying my best not to hold. I have to go forwards a bit here. The T95 can hit me quite hard. But it's okay. Good decision. So considering that we decided like 15 different times where to go, the timing that we actually went there was good. Did we consider a win or a loss? I think it was a good decision. There's a much higher chance for our team to win, which is good. Ah, he has been discovered. The thing that I would like to find is the artillery, because it's my biggest concern when it comes to survival. Artillery has been spotted. There's only one more tank missing, that is the Jaeger. Where do we think he is? There. Ah. Secret spot. Nice. Well played, team. Okay. A little bit more interesting. I got myself deep into the action. It was, I don't think, the best game to showcase what armored tank destroyers are about. But basically, my goal was to stay with the team and like support them. So I'm less of a sniper tank destroyer and I'm more of a support tank destroyer, if that makes sense. This type of tank destroyer class is probably my favorite type of tank destroyer because I prefer leaving the mediums to the sniping. Although on the other hand, we have the Gorilla, fantastic sniper, and the FV4000, beautiful. On the damage side at least, gun handling is another story. Great types of tanks. So whether it is you want to play a sniper type of thing where you're always sitting and you're hidden, waiting for other people to find things and you shoot at them, then maybe that's the class for you. But just understand that there's a lot of times where it doesn't feel great to play those types of tanks because nobody spots for you and then you have to end up spotting for yourself and finding the damage for yourself, as we saw in the first game that I played with the SU. So make your choice wisely. If you are picking the tier 10s for the first time, maybe this helps you too on your choice. If we have to think about what's easier to play, it would probably be the hidden snipe. So moving on next, we're probably going to go into the mediums. Now I know it's a Bond tank, but I'm thinking about the 122 TM. This is a all-round medium, if I can put it that way. It has great armor, it has good alpha, good gun damage, decent aiming and dispersion. I think the only side it lacks is DPM, mainly because of the loading time. But that's why I'm running vents, stabilizer, and gun rammer, just to improve that loading time and efficiency of the crew overall. The reason why I'm taking the vertical stabilizer in this particular case is because there's a lot of situations where I felt that if I moved or something like that, that the gun would have a high bloom. There's not much more to really know about this tank. 122 TM is a solid medium. It is a bond tank, so if you want to know what to use on with your bonds, I would really recommend this, especially for a newer type of player, because it does have best of all worlds. Speed is half decent. I wouldn't say it's the slowest medium. It is amongst them. It does have the capability to go quite fast if you place turbo on it. Medium class is interesting, but it's better to showcase the playstyle in-game than anywhere else. Alright, I'm going to take the mediums out for, with the medium out for a spin. So this is more of a beefed up version of a medium. And then what I'll do is play a more sniper type of medium. Or scouting support medium, if we can put it that way. There's many different classes in the game. Find the one that works for you. If you like speed, compare the tanks, check the top speeds. If you like armor, compare the tanks, check the armors. If you prefer more of a sniper style, check the dispersion on the tanks. And you'll find something to play and comfortable for your style. This is the 122 TM. Very great armor compared to most of the mediums that you will come against at this level. And a lot of fun to play as well. Now, the Iron Arnie. If you ever come up against that tank, try not to shoot its front end or its lower plate. For some reason, the armor is just phenomenal. But we'll see what ends up happening. For the purposes of the video, I'm going to put the armor paint on, although I don't use it at all. We'll be able to at least maybe see one or two situations where it helps. Okay, there is a Grom busy peeking. That is a tank destroyer. It's going to be a bit difficult to get around you now with the Grom that's just aiming down. There we do see that one of the two have taken a shot. I'm going to take a risk here. And then I got a nice shot into the Iron Arnie there. I'm going to fall back down. Okay, no penetration on the cupola there. What we can do is wait for our reload to finish, and then we'll try one more time. Perhaps we even shoot the cupola with high explosive. It can also work. That tank got taken out by the Grom. It's just the way that it goes. I think what I'm gonna do is patch up here, change to heat. High explosive ammunition, which has slightly higher pen, just to guarantee that I get a shot in this Grom or Iron Arnie, depending on which one is first available. Okay, good job on that kill there, my dude. Oh, it's just the Grom we've got to get through. We always have to keep in mind that there's tank destroyers or other tanks that might be trying to fight us from that direction. So as we push forwards, we're not going to be too overwhelmingly brave. Just want to get a good angle here. I'm not going to wait for the aim time too long, because at this distance, it's very unlikely that your shot will go out of the circle. Okay, so while we wait a little bit just to be unspotted, let's take a look at the map. The center of the map seems to be not be going so well. It does seem like they managed to push through. So I want to see if I can help them instead of trying to continue the push this way. I do see an AUK. It's visible over there. An ELC. I'm going to switch ammo types back to APCR. Okay, most of the tanks are quite low, so this does give some hope. Good, good, good. Even though the ELC is a certain type of tank, there is that possibility that he can kill us. Oh my word. So sad that didn't bend. It's very much okay though. So what we are going to do is keep pushing. I think we might see an AUK behind us quite soon, and I'm just going to keep myself mentally prepared for that. As a medium, I'm trying to move around the map, not really seeking fights, but controlling zones to make sure that our tanks, or we don't lose the map completely. Okay, very important shot to take out. Okay, so this is an Emil. He is a very strong hull down tank, and he has a very strong hull down position. There's also a Tiger here on the left, but they're just basically there to do their thing. I should probably load heat. Oh, I rushed my shot there a little bit. Chat and YouTube viewers, I'd recommend not doing that. Okay, they are both deciding to push now, which is absolutely fine. No penetration on the first shot, that's unfortunate. And shot in the back. Well, we played the best that we could. I think it's very unfortunate that we lost the shot on the emerald, otherwise we would have got a bit more damage out this game. I think we did quite well to penetrate the Iron Arnie. All in all, the medium gameplay is that we got to move around and see what can happen around the map. I think what we can do from here is we're going to change to more of a support medium. Okay, the IMT. This is classed as a versatile medium tank. Fair enough. Let's go. Turbo Vents Rammer. Let's battle. Okay, so we are playing on Studzianki. This is probably one of my more favorite maps considering it's open. I think the only thing that it could use is cover in the center, even though it has that little ditch. It just doesn't feel like enough. And yeah, we'll see. I'm going to go out towards the left, mainly because the right side is for, how can I say, more of your sniper mediums. I'm going to offer support and try to frontline for my tank as they try and push through. Now, I wouldn't recommend frontlining in the IMT because the armor is not the best, but it does have the opportunity to bounce quite often, considering it's sloped armor. Very good turret. I do think most things can just pen you straight through the turret, but you know what, if they don't, they don't. If they do, they do. I'm going to hold this position for now, just as a support position. I don't know whether I should go and attack that T-44 or just hold. I think we hold for a bit more information on the map. There we go. We got some. I'm putting the shot in. I got spotted. The reason I got spotted there is because I'm too close to the bush, so I lose my camo. Oh, there's an XMF at the back. Tank destroyer. Very dangerous tank. Especially at this level. There's a high gun alpha, very troll armor. Okay, I was a bit more patient for that shot. I probably still got spotted here. That IS-3 set on fire, and he did have a fire extinguisher, so he was able to put that out fairly quickly. I think I have a shot on the Senlac, yeah. Oh my word, this dude. Bruh. So my teammate drove in front of me while I was trying to shoot the tank. That's just unfortunate. I'm relying on the game mechanics to aim for me now, which I shouldn't be, but it is what it is. Okay, we have this tank that's trying to push up here. Let's just do a quick poke and shoot. And sometimes it's okay to shoot from outside of the tank. It doesn't make you any worse at the game than anyone else. It's a game mechanic and it should be used. Okay, unless I get shot again, I don't really want to repair. I guess I had to repair. I just wanted to peek again to see. I can see the XM. Yes, I can. I'm just keeping vision on him. They're probably going to blind shot the bush. I think I can push this 122, but I need to make sure that I do it the right way. Okay, XM is in a bit of a shamble now. I'm gonna do my push. That's fine. So support medium. My goal there was really to just try and get a bit of spotting and then take a bit of pressure off. It's very unfortunate that my shot didn't pen because that tank would actually be out the game now, and it was a side shot as well. Now, if you remember, I was saying that 122 TM has very good armor, and there we go to see if I didn't shoot at the exact square angle, my shot ricocheted, and that put me in a very unfortunate position that I lost that trade. Then I ended up dying because there was another tank there that I didn't actually know was there, and that's the game that you play against when you play World of Tanks, is that you never really know where the other tankers are unless they've been spotted previously or constantly spotted. All right, so I'm going to jump out of here. That's medium class. The only thing left to play there would be a sniper medium. And I think the only sniper medium that I do have is the Leopard 1. Now, if we start jumping into tier 10 games and understanding those things, that's where the whole game goes haywire. So I do want to leave tier 10 for a later stage, because we did more or less cover a sniper already in the tank destroyer sniper tree. Heavies. We'll go with the Object 25U, considering we're staying in the tier 8 game, and this also does just help showcase the tank a bit better. On the heavies, I am running hardening gun rammer and enhanced gun laying because I want better accuracy on this tank, or at least aiming. But that's pretty much it. Generally, you use hardened hull so that you can improve your track rating, because getting tracked as a heavy is pretty much a death sentence. So having that at least helps improve the strength of them so that they don't just break on the first shot. Your opponent has to use something higher than a single shell to break them. If they do have a good caliber, there's a possibility they can break it in one shot, but it's very rare that those things do happen. We are playing on Karelia. Let's go. And I'm going to play the left side. There's a lot of times going to the right would be interesting. I guess we can call this a 0 line. And the 1 line is a little bit more interesting. You've got to know what's looking at you if you want to play that position. Now this tank is a little bit more of a hull down tank. What do I mean by that? I want to keep most of my hull covered. Unfortunately on this map there's not a lot of good places to do that with this type of tank. So we're going to be doing either a little bit of a side scrape, or we're going to do poke and shoot. Poke and shoot seems to be the most successful in most situations, but be careful for overexposing your tracks and your lower plate or the sides of your tank in those situations, because there is that chance that you end up taking a lot of damage. I'm trying to keep in line with the other tankers that are around us, and we must not forget that a tank just went down that side, so that does make it a bit more challenging for us to go through. Now, do I just push up? And take as much damage as that tanker did over there? I do not think it's the right decision. So I'm going to wait for one of these two tankers to peek. I'm going to use the outside view so that I don't ruin my opportunities of actually seeing the tank. And he unfortunately gets taken out. We do see a Kunze-Panzer sitting at the back. If you notice that the round landed outside of the circle, welcome to the Object 25U. There we go. Okay, I'm not sure if that guy knew he was spotted or not, or if he thought that no one could shoot him, but he stayed there for quite a while. The other heavies are taking a very interesting journey back to the garage. Try not to do the heroic play if you're still trying to figure things out in World of Tanks. There's a lot of more situations where you can just rely on just making a better choice. And I think in this particular case, pushing up there wasn't the greatest decision. Yeah, I think I did shoot there. A turret stuck, I'm repairing that immediately because what ends up happening is that it's going to turn orange, but even if it's orange, I feel like I'm going to end up losing out on gun accuracy, especially since my turret is damaged. It's going to rotate much slower, less opportunities to actually get those shots in. Okay, I see the no-go is choosing to push up. We do get a shot in there, that's fantastic. And you see what I mean by the poke and shoot. I'm not really trying to use my armor effectively and angle in a particular way. I'm just trying to make sure that when I am able to take a shot, I go in and take a shot. And when I can't, I try to get out of the way. Yeah, I do want to see where those other tanks have gone. But when we see the Cobra, we don't peek, because Cobra's scary. I wanted to see if I could shoot below those Tiger 2's tracks. I cannot. And we're going to lose our TNH over here. That's fine. Now, the beauty of this, well, this created a situation where we are now able to hold down. Only problem is, we need to push him forwards a bit. There we go. So now we're going to be protecting our lower plate, which is absolutely fantastic. And the only places that they will be able to shoot is slightly on the side of my vehicle. And of course, for my cupola. But at this particular angle, I don't think my cupola can be seen. So I'm not too concerned on that side. Let's get a shot in the Kunza. There we go, managed to track him as well so that we get tracking damage, and that's fantastic. Okay, good luck trying to shoot me, Object 257. He can take out my gun. I'm going to repair that as well, because having a broken gun is never fun. I can hold this position all day, and unless somebody decides to actually push me, I think I'm okay. That would have been lovely. Let's see if we can land this. We'll try one more shot on that guy. Hello, Noggle. Oh, yeah. It might have been worth a shot. They have to all push me at once to be able to get through here, so I'm not too concerned. So this is pretty much hull down heavies. If you can take the experience that we've had in the past couple of games, where there's been a lot more excitement, if I can put it that way, on the other classes, except for the sniper class, where we had to wait quite a long time before we could make an impact in the game. One of the things that makes this a little bit more attractive to newer players is that you have a health pool to really deal with. But that doesn't mean you should go out there and try and make the craziest mistakes you can. You know, don't try and dive in there just because you have a lot of health, because there are some good players that can really capitalize off of those mistakes. I'm just trying to get a shot on this gentleman's cupola. He's a very tiny cupola, so I'm finding difficulty. I'm going to just hold as long as I can. Tank destroyers are protecting my 6. Does look like the object's eventually going to try and push me here. I hope he does. Now I get a free shot into him. I'm getting some decent spotting damage here on the tanks that have been trying to get this position, so that's pretty cool too. Hello. I see a spot here that I can pin him. See if he picks me like that again. I'm gonna get shot in the back by a Cobra soon. They got me. I think the main reason why I ended up dying there is because I did choose to push forwards, and then I ignored the 2 tanks. And after shooting, it gave the opportunity for the heavies to push up onto me. But you know what? Can't complain. It was a decent game in the heavy. A lot more spotting than damage, which is interesting. But sometimes that's just the way these games go. Alright, so that was a hull down heavy. I'm going to switch over to a side scraping type of heavy. And let's see what we can make happen in that type of tank. Tiger P. Oh, Tiger P, Tiger P. But I think for the purposes, this should be okay. And once again, considering that you are a newer player to the game, I'm trying my best not to throw high tiers and competitive gameplay into this video or this mix. And of course, I'm going to keep the games raw as possible. I'm not going to play 20 games to put a great YouTube video on. Right, we are on Pilsen. Pilsen, the one that should be called Mines. And Mines should be called Pilsen. Because I don't know why Mines is Mines, except for there's a little mine entrance on Mines. Okay, regardless, we are now in a side scraping heavy. What does that mean? That means that I don't want to show more than the side of my tank to my enemy at any given time. I will, though, be poking out to shoot, but most of the time I'll be trying to use the side of my tank to deflect any shots that the enemy will be giving me. I like to break these doors as soon as possible, and then we'll see if anybody decides to come through. So you'll see the angle that I'm taking is not too crazy, but I just want to make sure that if they shoot the side of my tank, they do not penetrate. I do see quite a few tanks are pushing up on this side. There's also a Tiger P over here behind the door. And I'll take a shot there just to see if I can get anything. Now we have the same reload, so I'm just going to see if I'm at a bounce angle, because otherwise he might just penetrate my, let's say for example, tracks or side over here. Trying to get vision back on him, and then for some reason I don't get vision, but that's okay. So shooting his turret there, I was seeing green and red. Why are we seeing those things? Well, that's because that's the way that the overmatching works. You'll see that I'm not shooting the top of his tank, or I'm shooting the bottom of his tank. Now there, he did manage to penetrate. Well, I managed to penetrate him, and he did not penetrate me. Quite interesting. I'm gonna just take that shot. It looks like we're going shot for shot now. You take your shot, Tiger P, then I'll take my shot. Hello, Juto. Welcome to the party. So now I want to take up a better position so that I'm covered from the Juto instead of the Tiger P. That's a very difficult shot to make through here, but I'm going to try regardless. And it does seem like he was able to pen me, so he will be coming back for more. Now, I don't have a good shot on the Juto, so I'm rather going to use this time to reposition instead of just face tanking a bunch of shots that I can't tank. Let's see what we can make happen. Our medium side is slowly pushing up, which is good. Tiger P is pushing through. Not too worried about those tanks there. Hello. Looks like I'm gonna have to fall back another zone. Nice shot through there, that's good. Strike a polo shot. Decent. Okay, we have this nice steel wall, whatever, protecting us for now. It's quite cool. There we go. Nice Capolo shot. He's loving this, I can tell. I'm going to track him and then move forwards. I don't want to be slapped by an AMAX. Kind of boring. Okay, let's see if we can get the finishing shot on this Juto over here. Whoa. I hit my extinguisher a millisecond too late and got set on fire and dead. Okay, so even though we ended up finding new positions to play in, side scraping a bit, blocking some damage, these tanks tend to be more brawlers in any particular case. Once things are low, that's when you want to more or less push into the fight. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of knowledge to be able to reposition. I'm positioned now for that tank and I'm not being penned by them, and then all of a sudden another tank comes from another side and now you are messed. With your hull down tanks, you don't really experience that too often. So side scraping, if that's for you, then maybe that's the tank to go for. So it's weighing pros and cons with pretty much any class or tank that you do. Where does this leave us? It leaves us with a couple of choices. What type of class would you like to play? What do you think is the most interesting class? And what do you think is the most useless class? For me, the only thing that I've left out now would be SPGs. Artillery is for a particular niche in World of Tanks. If you like top-down gameplay or gameplay where you just need to wait one hand, one mouse, then that might be the class for you. But the way that I see it is that it's a necessary class. So if you do get into it, and you do help out the team, whether it's with stun damage or actual damage or anything like that, go for it. You know what? I wouldn't say the game could use more RT players, but I don't think it could really hurt having RT players that enjoy the game. With all that said, I hope that you guys have slightly better understanding of what class you would play and what armor types that you would go through when you are playing those types of classes. And that's pretty much it for this section of the video. Thank you so much for watching on the YouTube side. I'll catch you guys around.